Hey everybody, welcome to Crack Pack Tuesday, number 132 on the Mana Leak. I'm John as always, and we've got our final pack of Iconic Masters. Next week we'll be doing a pack of Unstable. The week after that we'll be doing a pack of Unstable. And then I'm not sure what we'll do around the holidays. We don't want to stick on Unstable for too long, but we'll see what's in this pack, see what we would take pack one, pick one if this was a draft. Not currently getting my value out of these packs. I guess I had a whole lot of value out of my Eternal Masters packs. I got a Fetch Land, a Blood Moon, and a something else that was really good, a Wasteland. But we'll see if we can get something good out of this pack. Up first, we've got ourselves Kiln Fiend. Kiln Fiend is 1 in red for a 1/2 creature elemental beast. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Kiln Fiend gets +3/+0 until end of turn. So it's sort of like Prowess, but different. This becomes a 4/2 whenever you cast an instant or sorcery. Ideally, you cast a few and you make this a 7/2 or you make it a 10/2. The blue-red aggro spells deck is a deck, and Kiln Fiend is an all-star in it, but it is not a first pick. Stalwart Aven is up next. 2 and a white for a 1/3 creature bird soldier. It's got flying and it's got renowned 1, so if it hits your opponent, it gets a counter once. It doesn't get additional counters ever again. It's fine. It goes in the green-white deck. It's a flyer, which can be annoying to deal with in this format. There's not a ton of flying hate, although there is some that can definitely help you out. But it's not a first pick. Jace's Phantasm is up next. A single blue mana for a 1/1 creature illusion. It's a flyer, and it gets +4/+4, so it's a 5/5 flyer for 1 if your opponent has 10 or more cards in his or her graveyard. If you are playing mill, this is great. It's a way to finish the game before the mill finishes the game. If you are not playing mill, your opponent's not going to have 10 cards in their library. And so this is a 1/1 for 1. So do not first pick this, but once you're in mill, grab these. Grab them a lot. Hammerhand is up next. A single red mana for an enchantment aura. Enchant creature. When Hammerhand enters the battlefield, target creature can't block. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has haste. Surprisingly good card. Like, this was a card that when it first came out in whatever set it was in, M15, M14, whatever set it was in, everybody just kind of said, oh, this looks pretty bad. Turned out it was actually really good. It just ends games out of nowhere. But it's not a first pick. It's definitely not a first pick. But as soon as you're in like red aggro, you grab these and you play all of them. Up next is Rakdos Drake. 2 and a black for a 1/2 creature Drake flyer. It has Unleash, so it could be a 2/3 flyer that can't block if you do put a counter on it. Fine aggro card, but it's nowhere near a first pick. Praise Vengeance is up next. A single green mana for an instant at common. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Rebounds. You get to do it again. It's not as fun doing it again when your opponent knows that this combat trick is there and it has been played. It's just, you're never going to get your opponent the second time. If it forces them into an unblockable or must-chump situation, cool, but it's just not good the second time around. So this is really just kind of weak giant growth. Never first picking it, and I'd probably cut it pretty regularly. Radiant Fountain is up next. It's a land at common. I think it used to be at uncommon. When Radiant Fountain enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life. Tap. Add colorless to your mana pool. There's no reason to add colorless to your mana pool, and the gain life cards, there's just so many good gain life cards that you probably don't want to be playing Radiant Fountain, so never first picking it, probably never playing it. Battle Rattle Shaman is 3 and a red for a creature Goblin Shaman. It's a 2/2 at the beginning of combat. On your turn, you have target creature get +2/+0 until end of turn. It's Anointed Deacon for everything. It's good, and because this pack is so weak so far, I'd consider first picking it. Goes fantastic as basically a curve topper in a really aggressive red deck and can just end games, especially if you're throwing that on a flyer or a trampler or a first striker. Your opponent might have issues with it. Up next is Aerial Predation. Aerial Predation is 2 and a green for an instant. Destroy target creature with flying. You gain 2 life. Here's one of the few ways to deal with flyers in this format. Really good ways to deal with flyers specifically, but it's nowhere near a first pick. But if you're green, pick these up for the sideboard very heavily. Our final common is Iona's Judgment. Iona's Judgment is 4 and a white for a sorcery, exile target creature or enchantment. 5 mana, sorcery speed, exile removal. Not the best. It does hit enchantments, that's kind of cool, but not the best, especially in a set that has Doomblade and etc. So I'm not really first picking Iona's Judgment, and there's a lot of white decks where I'd cut it from because 5 mana is an awful lot. Our first uncommon is Hunting Pack. 5 green for an instant. Create a 4/4 green beast creature token, and then Storm. You get to copy this spell for as many cards or as many spells that have been cast by anybody this turn. I don't like this card. I don't think it's any good. In limited, people are typically casting a spell a turn. You're not casting multiple spells when you're also playing a 7-drop, so you're going to only get 1 4/4. And I don't know, if you wait for your opponent to play 2 spells and you pay 7, you get an 8/8, which is fine. But you're just not getting here. You're not getting here off of Hunting Pack, so totally out on Hunting Pack. Hero's Bane is up next, another uncommon that used to be a rare. 3 green for a creature Hydra. It's a 0/0, but it does enter the battlefield with 4 +1/+1 counters on it. Pay 2 green, and you put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the power, so you double it. So for 4, it becomes an 8/8, and then it becomes a 16/16, and then it becomes a 32/32. Very good card. There's a reason this card used to be rare. I assume it's been downshifted because there is decent, cheap removal in the format. Yeah, I don't see why you would not first pick Hero's Bane. It was first pickable when it was a rare. It's more first pickable when it's an uncommon. Up next is Prodigal Pyromancer. Prodigal Pyromancer is 2 and a red for a creature human wizard. It's a 1/1. Tap it to deal 1 damage to target creature or player. Yeah, it's fine. It's first pickable. I don't think it's first pickable against Hero's Bane, so I don't think we have to keep it in the frame. But it is very first pickable. I do like it quite a bit. Our foil, and I've seen this happen a lot, where our foil is a card that's also in our pack, is Rakdos Drake. Rakdos Drake is 2 and a black for a creature Drake. It's a 1/2 flying on leash. We've already talked about it. We're not first picking it. Not the foil, not the non-foil. Our rare is unfortunately not going to get us value either. It's Charmbreaker Devils. 5 and a red for a creature devil. It's a 4/4. At the beginning of your upkeep, return an instant or sorcery at random from your graveyard to your hand. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Charmbreaker Devil gets +4/+0 until end of turn. Charmbreaker Devils, obviously with Kiln Fiend in the blue-red spells deck, is amazing. This is a curve topper, returning spells, getting to cast those spells. They're hopefully cheap. Pumping up your Charmbreaker Devils, pumping up your Kiln Fiends, etc. can do some serious damage. So once again, I think I'm on the rare of Charmbreaker Devils just because I really would like to try out the blue-red spells aggro deck. Hero's Bane, I think, is a solid pick as well. I don't think Battle Rattle Shaman is in. Let me know what you would have taken. Would you have taken the Bane? Would you have taken the Devils? Is there something else? In the comments down below. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can find me on Twitter at @TheManaLeak. That's LEEK, like the vegetable, not the card. You can also find me at Facebook.com/ManaLeak, Twitch.tv/ManaLeak, and Patreon.com/ManaLeak. If you like the content, click that thumbs up button. Click subscribe if you want to see more. And if you do have questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, see y'all next time.